Don't ask me to hang out with you if you have a boyfriend. I'm fed up with y'all, okay? I'm fed up. Let's talk about it.
Hey y'all, a little disclaimer. I'm all for love. I'm all about love, but I do believe there's a certain respect you should have for your friends while you're in relationships. I've been in a relationship. This is no shade to those in relationships. Okay, bye.
It makes us feel like crap when y'all can't wait to leave us to go be with your man, or we done made these plans, we done got hyped for them. You couldn't wait to go out with me, I couldn't wait to see you, and as soon as your boyfriend leaves, you leave. Or the whole time you talk about how you can't wait to leave me to go be with him. What? That hurts so much.
I always have this thing where I feel like I can befriend women that have codependency issues with their men, and it like never works out. One time a friend hit me up and she was like, hey, I haven't seen you in a bit, like let's catch up, let's have dinner on Saturday. I did think it was a little weird that she hit me up because I honestly hadn't spoken to her in months, but I was like, yeah, I'd love to catch up. We meet up, we're eating, we're talking, whatever. She proceeds to tell me that her boyfriend is currently out with his friends right now because it's his birthday weekend. So it immediately clicked like, oh, the only reason that you invited me out was because you needed to be out at the same time as your boyfriend to make it look like you have friends, to take your mind off the fact that your boyfriend is out. Which is wild to me because like, we haven't spoken in months. Like, you must be really out of friends. Anyways, I peep it, but I try to enjoy the rest of our dinner. Midnight comes around and like, I'm ready to go. She starts texting her boyfriend and then finds out that he's like not at home yet. He doesn't know when he's gonna come home. So that's when she turns to me and asks if I want to stay out later. Girl, bye. I'm a very forgiving person, but this isn't the first time that she's like prioritized a man like over or plans. So that was the last time I think that we ever met up. And she just might see this TikTok like, girl, I hope you're better. Anyways, let me give you a takeaway. The best relationships that I have had are with women that are self-sufficient and whole. And they hate men just a little bit. Just a little bit.
It's honestly so unfortunate, but it's so fucking hard to be friends with girls who are so codependent on their man. I used to be friends with this girl, and it's honestly so sad because she was such a good person. But when she started dating her boyfriend, like, it was like he was the only person that mattered. When we would finally get to hang out after months of not seeing each other, she would either ask if she could bring him or spend the entire time checking his location, texting him, seeing what he was up to, or talking about him. Literally got to the point where she wouldn't hang out with anybody unless he was there. It was my birthday one year and all us girls were out to dinner and he was with his friends doing something else. And she literally left my birthday early because he was done hanging out with his friends, and they lived together and worked together. And there's nothing fucking wrong with being with your partner all the time, but like, it was my birthday, I never got to see her, and the only reason she left was because he was done. I literally got to the point where I was like, I just cannot be friends with this girl anymore, so I stopped reaching out to her and I never heard from her again. So unfortunate, but you literally cannot be friends with these types of people because they literally do not care about anything but their significant other, and then they break up and then they try to run back to you. Like, it's just no. Love my boyfriend and we love spending time with each other, but we still do things besides be up each other's ass 24/7.
Crazy thing is, I only really hear about this in women friendships and not really men friendships. Like, men, when they have plans set with their boys and they're gonna go out and hang out and just have fun, they stick to those plans. But it's crazy when it comes to a woman and their friendships. Now, I'm not saying all, but some women who are not secure in themselves or don't know how to maintain balance between the relationship and friends, they're usually like, they have attachment issues or they don't know themselves. But it's like, it's giving placeholder. It's giving like you're using me only to fulfill time until your man comes back home. It's giving that you only want to hang out with me when things are going bad with your man, or you just have nothing to do.
No, because let's talk about this. I'm trying to make this video without throwing too much shade, because really and truly, not a shade thing, it's really a principles thing. Stay away from females whose only goal in life is to have a man. Stay away from them. Last year was my last year entertaining people like this. This friend that like we would hang out a lot, like regularly. Point where people thought we were best friends. I didn't consider her my best friend, but how people would see us out and around each other so often, people thought we were best friends. Like, we would do everything together, to the point where every time I got invited to like a influencer event, she always wanted first dibs. We were getting close. She didn't work work a 9 to 5, like she liked coming on trips with me. We hung out a lot regularly. Throughout the like year that we were friends, we were only friends for a short period of time. Every time we would hang out, she would be talking about some issue she's having with some man. Every single time. It wasn't an issue, it was, oh, she's doing this for this man, or she wants this man, or it was just always man related. You could never have a conversation, a trip, a hangout where it was not about a man. She was significantly older than me. She would make mistakes that I was making when I was like 16-year-olds in relation to men, right? Things that like I would look back at old Tanya and be like, what the hell are you doing? This older than me woman doing in her big age in relation to men. Now, I am not a judgmental person. Dear friend, I can only give you my 2 cents and then let you live your life. So that's what I did. She's older than me. She can make her own decisions. Cool, whatever. It's at the end of last year, I went on a trip because my aunt died. I leave for this trip. This girl is in over situation, still kind of in love with, emotionally attached to this one man that I know isn't good for her. She knows isn't good for her. Every time we hang out, this is the man that she's talking about. This is the issue that we're dealing with. It's always this man. I left for maybe a week and a half. I call her while I'm on my trip and she has a new boyfriend. I have never heard of seeing who is this man. I don't know who this man is, but she has a new boyfriend. Week and a half. I might tell her that this is not the love of her life. So I'm like, okay, cool, can't wait to meet him, you know, being a good friend. And man, when I left, she was deading over a different man. Okay, cool. Time I leave, because she doesn't work a 9 to 5, usually I ask her to pick me up from the airport when I get back. So I asked her, I was like, hey, can you come pick me up from the airport? Usually our thing, like we hang out, we catch up when she picks me up from the airport. It's usually just 2 of us. It's like, yeah, sure, of course I'll pick you up, blah, 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 blah. I fly back in, I'm outside the airport. Why is the man picking me up from the airport? Not her. Why is the man picking me up from the airport? I'm confused. The man that I did not know existed a week and a half ago. Her new boyfriend. Again, not my place. I said, okay, cool. I sit down in the car. I'm respectful, whatever. Should have been my first sign that like, you remove yourself. But I was like, you know what? No, this is my friend. Like, if she's in love, she's in love. I love that for her. Anyways, a few days passed and like I got booked to show up to an event in March and I got like extra tickets. He always wants dibs on when I get like influencer things. So I'm like, cool. Like, I'm going to give her the option first. Bear in mind, this is in March. This moment it was November. I'm just giving her a heads up. Like I call her and I'm like, hey, for this event, like we're gonna go in March. It's a weekend event. It's like a party thing. Da, 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 da. She looks me dead in my eyes, dead in my face, and goes, you know, I'm not the same person when I have a boyfriend, right? I'm confused because I'm like, I could not have heard that properly. Like you could not have let that come out of your mouth. Like looked me in my eyes and said that, because what? Man, that literally did not exist when I flew out a week and a half ago. I'm confused. So it's not like I'm asking you to spend every weekend of your life with me. Like this is March. I'm telling you, March. Like you're just so convinced that this man is going to be the highlight, the sunshine in your life. March, that like you're like, you can't hang out with me anymore because you have a man. I'm so confused. Ask her again. I'm like, excuse me, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like you heard me. Like I am not the same person when I have a boyfriend. I'll stay home with him. I looked her in the face and I said, if that is the case, I am no longer going to be a friend. She giggles like I'm joking and she's like, well, I guess you're just not gonna be my friend anymore. That girl that called me her best friend literally probably 3 months before. I said okay, and I hung up the phone and I have not spoken to her since. I don't care what kind of emphasis society has told us we have to have on our romantic relationships, where we're like seeing them over our friendships. Like your friends aren't the ones that pick up the pieces when you and your man left. Your friends aren't the ones that sit down day in and day out listening to you cuss about men over and over, your advice, consoling you, letting you cry. And that's not to say that I'm being judgmental. We listen to my friends cry about the same man 1,000 billion times, but for you to put man over your friends who have been there for you day in and day out, that's despicable, disrespectful, disgusting. Back in the day, I used to entertain it and I used to be like, yeah, well, she's just in love, like I need this friendship. No, you just need your man. To your man, he can have you. I am not sitting down and taking any disrespect from any girl just because them have a man. Are you out of your mind? Stay away from girls like that. You hear? Stay away from them.
Ooh, good morning. Let's talk about it. I love this topic because I've lived through it. I'm not going to go as far as to say, like, if you have a boyfriend, I can't be friends with you. I think what people have been missing, it's about really your character, because who you are with or without the boyfriend is still going to stand. If you're a person that likes to make time and you believe in friendships and that's important to you, you're going to do the same thing in a relationship. It just does, it doesn't matter. And I have been on the receiving end when my friend got into a relationship and oh my God, I was tossed away to the side, thrown away to the side. And I was so resentful for a long time. And then I had to realize that she kind of had to go through that and be broken up with a couple times and like really like go through it to realize like, damn, like, okay, I do need my friends or my friend, you know, regardless if I'm in a relationship. And now she does a much better job about that communication. And I'm glad that I was able to give her a chance to not, I'm gonna say redeem herself, but to really go through it and be like, damn, like friendships are just as important. So it's not really about whether or not they have a boyfriend or not. It's about their character and who they are regardless, you know what I'm saying? But there is an influx of women who do that, and men don't do that. They just don't. I hate to break it to you, sweetie. And I feel like that's why women get mad when men say, hey, I'm about to go hang out with the boys, we about to play some games, because they don't look at it the way that women do. Sometimes a lot of women feel like, oh, once I have my man, it's just us against the world.
And it's like, great, you know, be a partnership. But sometimes it just doesn't have to be like that, because sometimes you are going to need someone outside of your boyfriend, whether that means to help you, to do something, and just to be a normal human being, to have a regular interaction with someone that's just not your partner. But again, don't listen to me, honey. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but friendships have always been important to me. And I have gone through meeting women who just don't feel the same. So what I would implore to other people, especially the girl that made this video, is for you to have boundaries within yourself, right? You know what I'm saying? Because you can't control other people. Because you might find a girl that don't got a boyfriend and she still do the same stuff. As soon as a man call her, bye y'all, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? You have to set boundaries within yourself and know who you are. Know who you are within yourself. And then once you create those type of boundaries, it's easier to understand, oh, okay, well, you know, that's just how she is. And then once you find out if that's how that person is, you have to see if you're going to accept it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody told me that when you're friends with people, either you accept it or you cut the friendship off. There's just no in between. So that was my little 2 cents on it. But yeah, I feel like women now should be and are kind of learning that there's no need to do that. You know what I'm saying? You can still live a fulfilled life with a man, and you don't have to center him around your entire core, your entire being, because men live full lives.
I made a friend recently. I think I can say friend because we've been out on a couple of friend dates, so it's official. It has me just so happy, but let me tell you why. I don't even know her man's name. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think he exists somewhere in the ether, but I don't know his name. And we've talked about men. We talk about men all the time, and we're women, but our friendship centers around us, what we like to do, what we are, what we have going on, like our essence. And it feels good. It feels healthy. It feels like I'm getting to know her, not the relationship that she's in or who she is in a relationship. I'm getting to know her the same way she's getting to know me. There's something just so wonderful about women that center themselves. Being around the type of woman like that gives you permission to do the same. I think going forward, seeking that type of relationship is a cornerstone to happiness, especially if you're a woman under these conditions, this world that we live under. So I look forward to more friendships like that.
I'm bored, so I'm going to do red flags and girl friendships. I feel like I've been through enough friendships to decipher whether or not we're going to be long-term friends or not. And this is strictly just my opinion. Number one, if you're talking about kids and they say things like, I don't want to have a girl. Girls are just so difficult. I'm going to be a boy mom. I want to be a boy mom. 9 times out of 10, they're either male-centered or they're misogynistic or they agree with men on a lot of things. Red flag. 2, if they struggle to compliment you, I don't know what to tell you, sis. I'm so sorry, but if they struggle to compliment you, red flag. Number 3, and this is the most important one, if they say things like, girls are just too much drama, like, I get along better with guys, like, you better run and don't look back. Because all of the girls that have said that in my life were literally the drama. And male validation was their bread and butter.
Okay, I don't know who this young lady is, but I had a chance to watch your entire video, and you seem like the sweetest girl ever, honestly, and you're so pretty. However, I gotta be honest with you, okay? This might hurt, but it's gonna help you. The reason why it's hard for you to find friends, like female friends, as well as sustain those friendships is because a lot of women are male identified. Yep, I said it. And you're gonna notice this as you get older. When those friends that you have get into a relationship, or if a man starts giving them attention, pay very close attention to that. Because sometimes what happens is that their personality, their entire existence and livelihood is going to be centered around that very man. And when that happens, you go from being a friend to a placeholder very quickly. I couldn't snap my finger. That was really awkward. But anyways, you go from being a friend to a placeholder. And when you're a placeholder, that girl is only going to come to you and she's only going to want to see you and hang out with you whenever there is drama, toxicity, and turmoil currently occurring in that relationship. You will be a therapist. You will be the comforter. And it's going to happen repetitively. And if you find that it's happening on a repetitive basis, you need to take a step back and really analyze and assess where your friendship stands. And it's sad because I've had to do this with a few girlfriends, and it hurts knowing that you were only there just to be the therapist, nothing more. Just, I need you because my man and I are having issues. I don't know what to do. I can't find solutions, blah, 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 blah. And it becomes so repetitive to the point where it's really going to start to mess with you emotionally, and you're going to feel exhausted and depleted. And when that happens, like I said, that's where you need to assess where your friendship stands. And something I've noticed about male-identified women who constantly feel the need to hyperfixate themselves around the concept of marriage, the concept of being with a man, or just men, period, I find that when they center those men, they have no time and they don't have the capacity to be able to center themselves. And what happens is that when they center those men, their lives are chaotic. It is filled with drama. It is just traumatic, and it's always resulting in turmoil. Like, there's no middle ground and there's no peace. And mind you, I'm coming from a very observational perspective, and I'm also coming to you from experience. Women who center men, they don't know how to center themselves. Whereas women who do center themselves and remove themselves from the outcome of marriage, being a mom, and focus on other outlets where they can prioritize themselves, those women are so at peace. They are so at peace. They are able to find other outlets where they can not only center themselves, but also find opportunities to connect with other women who are also decentering men. And that's where you need to start vetting, okay? I know there's a lot of advice on social media that talks about, oh, well, you got to vet this man. You got to ask him these questions, whoop-de-whoop, blah, 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 blah. But what's missing is that you also need to apply that same vetting energy into your friendships. And in moments like this, I become very grateful because I have a couple of girlfriends who have completely decentered men. And I gotta tell you, nothing feels more liberating and peaceful than being able to hang out with your girlfriend, sit down and talk about things that do not involve what a man did, what a man said, and just putting him on a pedestal to the point where that's all that you can talk about. We talk about goals, we talk about hobbies, we talk about where we want to see ourselves and things that we've undergone and the lessons that we've learned. And we can just go out and say, you know what, let's do this, or let's try something new, right? It just feels so good to have that. And I find that as a woman, when you center yourself, okay, that's when men want you. I mean, the real ones, you know what I'm saying? That's when they really want you, because they're like, oh snap, she's not putting me on a pedestal. She ain't chasing me around. She ain't acting all crazy, hoop-de-hoop-ha. She's got some good things going for herself. Like, let me chase her, because that's what they're supposed to do. Men are hunters by nature, okay? So baby girl, I've been in your shoes, and just know that it gets better, but there needs to be awareness, and there also needs to be a vetting process, okay? Because like I said, you always vet the men, but you don't vet the homegirls that you just met, right? So just kind of sit back, ask questions, and just kind of get an understanding of who these women are before you fully give yourself to the idea of a friendship, okay? And the good news is that just from what I'm seeing on social media and just from conversations that I've had with other women, women are also waking up and have realized that, look, me centering myself around this guy, me trying to find a husband, like, I need to just step the hell back and just focus on myself. And then that's when everything's going to fall into place. And that is something, girl, that I think you need to do. Take a step back and it'll all fall into place. Center yourself and let things happen organically. Okay? And that is something, girl, that I think you need to do. Take a step back and it'll all fall into place. Center yourself and let things happen organically. Okay?